You've got 15 minutes. We've got go-to-market strategy and real talk. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Mandy. This is Your Future Biz Unfiltered, the podcast for founders and go-to-market leaders who want to scale smarter and stay sane while doing it.
Each short episode includes a tactical takeaway, from ICPs to poopy pipelines to LinkedIn DMs that don't suck.
In other words, this isn't your podcast ran by sales bros in Patagonia vests. This is Your Future Biz Unfiltered.
If you don't know how your buyer will go from stranger to a customer, how will they know? A lot of companies are so focused on building and selling that they forget to map what happens in between. And if they do map it, they forget to go back and audit it and see how it's evolved over time. What makes your buyers lean in? What makes them bounce? So in this episode, we're talking about how to create a lightweight, high-impact customer journey map so you stop guessing and start guiding. I am Mandy McEwen, your co-host, founder, and CEO of Mod Grow Marketing and Luminetics.
And I'm your other co-host, Lindsay Rios, your favorite go-to-market leader and fractional CRO. So maybe we should first talk about what a customer journey map is and what it is not.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
It's one of those things that a lot of people have different definitions for.
Yeah, because it's not really a funnel per se. That a funnel is a funnel. A funnel is a sales funnel. It's really knowing your buyer and where they're at, like getting into their mind from before they even know you exist or before they even know they have a problem, all the way down to the very end.
And dare I say, you can take the girl out of HubSpot, but you can't take the HubSpot out of the girl. It's a flywheel, right? So it's not actually, and that's another reason why I'm like, it's not a funnel because you have an in and an out only. But for me, a customer journey map's really more of a cycle. You should always figure out even when you don't have a customer anymore, if they churn, what does that look like? And how does that still feed back into your business in some way? So think of it more as the circle of life.
Now I'm getting Lion King playing in my head. The Circle of Life. I love that movie so much.
Yeah. Why not think of it like a Disney movie? We would love for our businesses to operate like Disney movies.
I know, right? Who wouldn't?
So what I would say is if you don't have a customer journey map mapped out for how you want, to your point, like your customer to experience working with you in all stages of their buying journey, then you don't also have a great way of having a good go-to-market strategy. Things are going to continue to stay siloed. This is like a very important foundation for your business, period. And either what I personally see is it gets shoved off for later, right? So like early stage or even like early founders, they're just thinking about getting customers and stuff. So they never think they should sit down and actually map out what this looks like. And I also see this fallacy of people thinking, well, there's not much yet, so I don't need to map it out yet. Wrong. Wrong-o. Totally not. Wrong-o. And it's way easier to do it now than it is later.
And you can always change it. And you have to change it, obviously. But we have AI, you guys, to help us do this in record time. Like we are now.
Youngins don't even know. We used to have to write it down on
exactly
whiteboard.
Yes, like back in the day, shit. This was hard shit, man. You really had to think.
No one would ever do it, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But now you have no excuse because we can cheat with AI.
We can.
You can give AI everything you need. So let's talk about that. Let's like break it down for people into the stages and what they need to do.
Yeah. So the stages are going to vary a bit based off of your business model and things like that. But there's kind of some classic ones you should always start with. So there's the awareness stage, which is when your customer becomes aware that they have a problem that you can solve. It's really important to know what that looks like because then it makes it really difficult to figure out marketing and the top of your funnel to attract them. And like how SEO can work and all of that. So you need to really understand awareness, which actually people typically tend to know that really well because you have to know that when you're like a founder starting out and that you're solving a problem that they have. Great, fine.
Yeah, that's like the first fundamental of like, what problem are you solving?
Yeah. But you should talk about awareness as kind of that initial first stage. Then from there, you're going to have like the engagement / discovery phase where it's like, okay, now they've found you somehow. They're searching for a solution to their problem. And what does that look like, right? So how is it that you want to show up in that part of the journey on your website, in your content, when you speak to them, all of that? Then you've got the actual consideration phase, which is when they're just deciding if they want to buy you or not. They're actually in a decision-making phase. Very different than the kind of discovery engagement phase or the awareness phase. And they actually make a decision in their customer. What does that look like? And then people stop there all the time.
And
So
that is a no.
No, don't do that. So their customer, they're like, great, your customer. And then they're like, I'm out. I got to go back and find more people, right? So no, bad. You're not done at customer. You should fully map out what that customer stage looks like, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then there's more.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. There's advocacy. You know, you can call whatever you want, but those are the types of customers that are going to get you more customers, who are going to do your case studies, who are going
They're free sales reps, basically.
They're the best. So you need, not every single customer is going to be like that. So that's why it deserves its own stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's the last stage. Post-customer. People don't stay with you forever, and that is okay. Especially some business models, you're not meant to stay forever. Like one of my clients, an SEO agency, like you don't have SEO for 10 years. You know, and
if you do, then you're doing something wrong.
Stop doing that. Yeah, we can talk about that in a whole nother episode. But, you know, if you're doing it right, then, you know, a year to 2 years, you've gotten to the place you need, and you don't pay someone to build it out for you anymore. So you have to know, what does it look like when you offboard your customer? That's a stage in itself. And whatever you do, you should have something that can help feed back into the beginning. Plus, people go to new companies all the time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You'd like them to be a customer again if you did a good job. So,
and this could also go into like, what does your referral program look like? We could have a whole other episode on that.
We totally, yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, if you're doing your job and you're offboarding customers, then they should be happy with you, right?
I should always be able to speak nicely about you.
Yeah, not everyone is, obviously. Not every business is perfect and has 100%, you know, customer satisfaction. Some people are freaking crazy and you could just never make them happy, right? We don't care about those people right now.
We don't care about them.
Yeah, sorry, we're not talking about them right now. So the ones that do, though, hello referral program. Like, they do not have to be a live customer for them to be able to refer business to you, but you need to make it worth their while. So come up with an incentivized program. Are you going to give them X percentage or a gift card or whatever? Just come up with something to where it's like, we appreciate working with you over this whatever, X months, years. And please keep us in mind for other companies who could use ABC. And to show our appreciation, we will give you, insert whatever you're going to give them for each person who becomes a customer. So many people do not do this, and it blows my mind.
Yeah, I wish I could remember who posted about this the other day, but they were literally talking about how infrequent people take advantage of asking for referrals, even just in their everyday sales process.
Even like discovery calls. Yeah. Like, hey, do you know anyone? And I'm really bad at this, to be honest. I'm really good at saying like, hey, we have an affiliate program, by the way. You know, if it's a corporate account, we'll pay anywhere from 10 to 15%. If it's one of our digital products, we pay 30 to 40%. And that's true for anyone listening to this. I love affiliate programs, but I'm really bad at like on sales calls, remembering to say like on the first discovery call, I'm really bad because I get like so distracted with trying to sell them, not sell them, but you know, like figuring out like pre-selling them. I forget to ask like, hey, by the way, do you know 3 other companies who would find, you know, LinkedIn training and sales navigator training helpful? Like, I am not great at that, and I need to get better at doing that for sure.
So everyone do that. Do that
Everyone
more.
do that.
Really, really great cold callers are really good at when that their call always ends with somewhere else for them to go. Great cold callers are really good at always having the next place to go. So if it's not with that particular company, it's someone else either in the company that helps them get closer to the goal, or maybe a referral or whatever. So same thing, you know, here. So if you don't have a customer journey mapped out and kind of like, what do you do in each of these stages? I think we should talk a little bit about like
how to build it.
What are the consequences?
Okay, yeah. Oh, what happens if you don't have it?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to talk about.
The crap out of y'all right now. Like,
yeah,
you don't do this.
Let's do it.
I always kind of speak about the customer journey map that you have in your company is representing the external experience that your customer has working with your company. Which gets a little existential, but like you kind of said it earlier, it's like, what do you want their experience to be? If you don't even write it out and have it like known and understood, how are you going to build process, strategy, and experience off of anything that's consistent? So say goodbye to consistency, say goodbye to even understanding what they go through. And we all know, we don't have to get it in this episode, that buying is an emotional experience. So
how do you want them to feel?
Yeah. Feelings.
Get in a little woo.
Yeah, there's that part of it. And then this is the only way you're going to properly ever build revenue operations in your company, in my humble opinion. So your customer journey map, again, represents kind of the customer's experience. And then revenue operations is how you ensure that you're making sure that that customer experience is ideally what you've mapped it out to be, and how to make sure that the outside and the inside match, so to speak. These are like mindsets as much as they are actual like strategies and playbooks and processes. If you don't do it now, first of all, it's really hard to do it later when you have a lot of moving parts and customers and nuances. And also, if you did it when you were seed stage and now it's your series B and you haven't looked at your customer journey map since then it's also going to suck, but you got to do it. And you just don't have a way to make sure that your overall strategies in your company are working. I mean, it's that simple. Everyone's just going to live on those islands. And the amount of times that I'm sure you've heard the same thing, everyone's just on a freaking siloed island.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely.
Duh. You're not all operating from a foundation. You can't work autonomously in a company if you're not all aligned from how you should be working.
Yeah, and like take it, if you're listening to this and you're early, trust us when we say it's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier if you do this now, because Lindsay and I both work with really large companies that are so siloed in everything that is such a hot mess, and they're so far that it's like, is there fixing of this to get it where it needs to be? You know, it's like, it will probably continue to operate. I mean, they're not that they're like doing terrible, but it's kind of a cluster F, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, one of my clients is, 30 mil in ARR. So they're not baby early stage. They're not, obviously also like crazy, late stage, but that's enough where then, and I've actually asked certain questions like, what does so-and-so do? And they're literally like, I don't know. Any company that has 100 and less people, and you should know what every employee there does. It all roots from this fact that you don't have a map. You have no map to be able to go, well, we know what everyone's responsible for and what our customers should be experiencing at each stage. So it gets we're getting a little wooey, but it really kind of gets rooted into that.
And then a feedback loop from your customers during those stages to make sure that like we all have an idea of how we want our customers to feel and what they want to go through. But like, how do you really know that's the case? So work in some sort of feedback loop system where you're literally asking, particularly, you don't have to ask every single customer, but pick the ones that are using your tool the most, whatever it is, and literally reach out to them and ask them how things are going. Get feedback along the way. Something else that's underutilized is literally dropping in with these customers on every phase of the journey at some point and getting feedback from them. Raw, honest feedback. And actually listen. Yeah.
Tactical takeaway.
Let's do it. Okay. So obviously we need them to map the stages.
Yeah. I think no matter where you're at, if you're crazy early or if you're later stage, let's just break it down. So just tomorrow, go and just map what are the stages that make sense in your company. So I gave some examples of some good standard ones. Awareness, you have to have that one. You can't do without it. When someone becomes aware of the problem, that's one, right? And then if you're B2B or you're B2C, this might make it longer or shorter, but you're going to map out what are each of your stages. That's it. That's all you're doing. Just deciding what those stages are. Then the following week, pick your first stage and then map out what happens in that stage, right? So just kind of like the steps and the things to be aware of. It's not always linear, by the way, right? So this is where if you're like me and you start to like get on like a Fig Jam or a Miro or any of those things, you want to map it out, you start having things that go like in a circle here and whatever. And that's all good because it's not always linear. But just think about in that stage, just write out over the course of the week all the things that make sense of what happens in that stage. And then ideally, 2 paths should come from that. If they go to the next stage or if they don't, what do you want them to experience? Then the next week, you'll do the next stage. And you just break it down so it's a little project.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
And then when you're done mapping it out, just go double check on the like connector parts is what I call it. So like making sure that the way that they go into the next stage, like what does that look like? Making sure like, do you need to build in processes, either automation or people-to-people handoffs, especially like sales to customer success? Just go make sure those button up. And the last one is, how does the last stage feed back into the first stage?
And use automation and AI here, you guys. It is your friend. All the way from building this out, I'm sure there's plenty of, I know there are, GPTs, custom GPTs that literally they will guide you through all of this. You can even click the little microphone and talk through it. If you don't want to type it up, you can give it resources. Any AI tool is going to help you with this. But also, to your point, Lindsay, of like the connectors, use AI and automation. Tons of Zapier. Like we have workflows in ours, using Zapier, connecting to certain things that are automated that you do it one time and it helps do it.
Over time, what you'll do with this map, right now you're just kind of putting thoughts and feelings down. You'll start to then map, like I said, the RevOps part of this. So you'll actually match it to your business and what's happening from an operational standpoint. And then like what teams are involved in what and all of that. And it becomes quite complex, but it does not have to be like that from the beginning. And I think that's part of why people never do it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Don't do that, but do this.
So go out there and do the damn thing. Map the damn journey.
Map the damn journey, people. Or suffer.
Or suffer. Or else. Yeah. This is your warning.
All right. So with that, I am really excited about our next episode. You guys should come tell about your mindset. And we know how hard all of this is. And so if you can't have your mindset right, we're not going to get through it. So come join us in the next one. And it'll be an extra special one because it will be the finale to our first season.
It will be, indeed. Yeah. Or ending on the woo. The woo.
Ending on the woo.
Which is very important.
Yes.
See you guys.
Bye.
Okay, now go build something cool.
If you like what you hear, or at least didn't hate it, hit that follow or subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.
And if you didn't know, this is a video podcast too. So if you want to see our lovely faces, go check us out on YouTube and subscribe there.
And just like that, another business problem got a little bit clearer, because in the business world, it's not about who raises first.
It's about who lasts.